Hello everyone, my name is Guillermo Cantero and today I will be teaching you about one of the most interesting topics in economics. It's called game theory. Well, game theory explains how people and businesses make decisions when the result depends not only on their own choices but also on the choices made by others. So many companies use game theory every day even if they don't realize it. Businesses like Apple, Samsung, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Netflix, and airlines constantly think about what their competitors might do before making important decisions. In this presentation, I will explain the what the game theory is, its main concepts, how it works, and how businesses use it in real life. Alright, so let's begin by defining game theory. So, game theory is the study of strategic decision making. It helps us to understand how people or businesses make choices when their success depends on the actions of someone else. For example, imagine that there are two restaurants are located next to each other. One restaurant is thinking about lowering its prices. Before making that decisions, it must ask itself like, what will the other restaurants do, right? If both restaurants lower their prices, both might earn less profit. If only one lowers its prices, that restaurant might attract more customers. This is exactly what game theory studies. Instead of making decisions alone, people and businesses must think ahead and predict how others will react. Game theory is not only used in economics, it's also used in businesses, politics, sports, and also in everyday life. There are four important elements in game theory. The first element is the players. Players are the people, businesses, or organizations that are making decisions. The second element is strategies. Strategies are the different choices that each player can make. The third element is payoffs. Payoff is the reward or benefit that each player receives after everyone has made their decision. Usually, businesses want the highest possible payoff because it means great profit. The final element is the outcome. The outcome is the final result after every player had chosen a strategy. Economists use these four elements to predict how the people and businesses will behave in different situations. So now let's look at a real world example. So imagine Coca-Cola and Pepsi are deciding whether to lower their prices. If both companies lower their prices, they may sell more products, but both companies earn smaller profits because each product is sold for less money. If Coca-Cola lowers its prices while Pepsi keeps its prices the same, Coca-Cola will probably attract more customers and increase its sales. And in the other hand, if Pepsi lowers its prices while Coca-Cola keeps its prices high, Pepsi will attract more customers instead. And finally, if both companies decide to keep their prices high, they both continue earning larger profits. This example shows that businesses cannot make decisions without considering what their competitors might do first. So, one of the most famous examples in game theory is called the prisoner's dilemma. Imagine that two people are arrested for a crime and questioned separately. Each prisoner has two choices: remain silent or confess. If both prisoners stay silent, they both receive only a small punishment because there is not enough evidence against them. If one prisoner confesses while the other remains silent, the prisoner who confessed goes free, while the other receives a much longer sentence. If both prisoners confess, they both receive longer prison sentences. The interesting part is that even though both prisoners would be better off cooperating by staying silent, they often choose to confess because they are thinking about protecting themselves. These examples teaches us that people sometimes make decisions that seems best for themselves, even if cooperation would produce a better result for everyone. Another important concept in game theory is called the Nash equilibrium. A Nash equilibrium happens when every player has chosen the best strategy based on their decision made by everyone else. At this point, no player wants to change the decision because changing alone would make their situation worse. For example, imagine two competing airlines have already decided on their ticket prices. If one airline suddenly raises its prices while the other keeps prices low, customers will probably choose the cheaper airline. If one airline suddenly lowers prices too much, it may lose profits. Because of this, both airlines often stay with the same pricing strategy. This is an example of a Nash equilibrium. So the Nash equilibrium helps explain why businesses often continue using the same strategy for long periods of time. So why game theory matters? Game theory is used in many different industries. Airlines use it when deciding ticket prices. Technology companies like Apple and Samsung use it when deciding when to launch new phones and how to price them. Streaming companies such as Netflix and Disney Plus compete by offering different subscription prices and exclusive content. Fast food companies like McDonald's and Burger King use promotions and discounts to attract customers while also watching what their competitors are doing. Even grocery stores use game theory when deciding which products to put on sale. These examples show that game theory is not just an economic theory found in textbooks. It is something businesses use every day to make smarter decisions. So, to conclude, game theory is the study of strategic decision making. It helps us to understand how businesses and individuals make decisions when the results depends on the action of the others. We learned about the four main elements of the game theory, the prisoner's dilemma, and the Nash equilibrium. We also saw how companies such as Coca Cola, Pepsi, Apple, Samsung, Netflix, and also the airlines use this idea to compete in the real world. Understanding game theory allows businesses to predict competitors' actions and make better decisions in what to improve and just to improve their chances of success. Thank you very much for watching my presentation. I hope this lesson helped you to understand how game theory works and why it is important in economics and businesses.